Hello, everybody. We are live, babe.
We're live.
We are live. So it's Saturday night.
Yes.
It's 5 p.m.
Yes.
Pacific Standard Time over here on the left coast.
I was asking that earlier.
Yeah. Babe earlier was like, what time zone are we in? And we wanted to jump on YouTube. Live streams are always fun.
Uh-huh.
And today we have some of our friends who also own a wine company, who also have sponsored numerous ones of our videos, and who we love their wine.
Yes.
And so we thought that we would have a conversation. I mean, at least for me, it's always interesting how people do business on social media, how they do direct to consumer, how they use social media in their business. And then, of course, we're a cooking channel. So food and wine pairings and all that stuff goes hand in hand. So we thought that we would have them on our channel and ask them some questions and pick their brain on a couple different things.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think we should all cheers to start.
Food. Yeah, let's take a little cheers to Thin Vine Wines before you guys introduce yourself. Cheers,
you guys. Thanks for joining us. We're so excited.
Yeah, we have like 18 dogs, so
that's okay. That's the beauty of the live stream. So, Thin Vine Wines, wine company out of San Diego, California, our state, about 3 hours south of us.
Yes.
And
two.
No, it's like 3.
If you speed.
No.
A little bit.
Well, it depends. It depends on.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, I know that she's tending to the dogs and stuff like that. That happens. Don't worry. When we don't have dogs, but we usually have children running around our live streams, and so we usually have to tend to them. So, so the same thing. So why don't you guys introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company and San Diego and all the juicy details.
Yeah, definitely. So what's up, everybody? My name's John. This is my girlfriend, Kalina.
Hi, everyone.
We started Thin Vine Wines back in 2018. I was working in dispatch at the time for a local law enforcement agency here. And I kind of always had the entrepreneurial, that's a big word when you've been drinking wine, entrepreneurial bug and interest in business. And I knew whatever product that we wanted to put out there, we wanted to honor first responders and any nonprofits that are near and dear to our hearts. So saw a hole in the market for wine that kind of honored specifically law enforcement. Was the first label was Thin Blue Vine, which is specifically for law enforcement. And then the rest kind of just branched off from there. So we had a total of 5 labels. So yeah, there was, companies honoring law enforcement with beer, with coffee, with a bunch of stuff, but there was no one doing wine. And that was something that I loved, being a wino myself. Kalina, I think you like wine a little bit.
A little.
Yeah, so just kind of a leap of faith. And I knew that the same people that we support, support the same causes that we do, and they'd be, some of our fans. So that's really how it got started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Before we pick your brain a little bit, I wanted to give a shout out to some of the people in the chat. That's kind of tradition on all the YouTube cooking channels. When we're live, we always give love to the people in the chat. So Chef Johnny's in here. I saw Kenton here. Native Meats, GT's Barbecue. Who else is in here? David Armstrong, my boy. Who else is in here? Melanie Matson. Babes in the chat. Let's see who else is in here. I said Kent in the chat. There's a lot of different people in the chat. Easy Bakes in the chat. Stephen and Jacqueline are in the chat. Sent One's in the chat. So thank you. Seattle Seahawk. I think he's still in here. Yeah. So Skinner Farms I saw in here. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in on the chat.
We are
excited to hit the thumbs up for them. This is like your first real YouTube live stream, huh?
This is our first live stream, yeah, for sure. So we're a little.
You're just jumping right into the pit.
just keep the wine flowing. You'll be fine. By the end, you won't want to get off.
We live by that rule.
Yeah. That's good.
So when you guys wanted to kind of jump into the wine game and stuff like that, and you kind of had the premise of your company that you wanted to give back to first responders, but yet have a business and stuff like that, what was the steps in taking how to kind of like jump into it? Was there a lot of like pre-planning or research, or just speaking for myself, if I wanted to start I wouldn't know the first thing to do if I wanted to start a wine business.
Yeah. So wanted it to really be a direct-to-consumer wine label that you could just order from your house and it shows up at your doorstep. You don't have to go to the store and get it or find who sells it. And I just went blank. I need more wine. What all went into it was, I mean, the easiest way to get into it, entry level, is to partner with a winery who is established, who makes their own wine. They have a winemaker, they know the process, and partner with them, taste their wine, come up with a wine that is custom to each label, and then they bottle it and label it for us, and then we sell it to our consumers. So that's
awesome.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So before we got on, I have like so many things running through my mind, and every time that I get on a live, especially after I've had some wine myself, I always forget. So I have like a list of questions that I wanted to ask you. But I thought of another one right now.
Oh, tell me.
Well, when going into the research and that of starting the company, was there also research, and is there different policies about, like, if I opened up a bar, I would need an alcohol license, obviously. Is there a different type of situation if you're shipping direct to consumer? I know when we've received your wines before, you have to show the UPS driver your ID. And so is there some like technicalities or legal issues as far as that goes?
Yeah, absolutely. Had to get special permits with the state of California, with the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and in order to sell wine wholesale, direct to consumer.
Oh, okay.
Special permits, special licensing. So yeah, we have all that.
Gotcha. Yeah. And does that permit allow you, like if I knocked on your front door and said, "Hey, can I buy some wine?" Are you allowed to do that, or is it shipping only?
No, we're only allowed to ship to people right now. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then the UPS driver will obviously verify that the person accepting the package is of age and all that stuff.
And that's another thing that we kind of struggle with, is not every state allows us to ship alcohol into their state.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we can't ship to all states. Most of them we can, and things are always changing, especially with COVID. But yeah, there's a few states that just won't allow you to ship alcohol from out of state for the type of license we have. So we're not a winery, so they have different licensing versus what we have.
Gotcha.
So we're a little limited, but it's gotten a lot better. Last year we could only ship to about 13 states, and then 40 something.
Really opened it up this past, like, was it the fall or was it?
Yeah.
The fall, yeah.
So COVID's really helped you be able to ship to other states.
Both has been great for alcohol sales.
Oh, thank you, super chat. Woo!
Oh man, GT's barbecue. Thank you so much. That really is appreciated. And a shout out to law enforcement. That
Okay,
really
we have to
is
cheers
cool.
every time we get a super chat.
Cheers to
Yeah.
that.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers, you
GT's
guys.
barbecue. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. A couple people in the chat. I see Ricer from Dead Broke Barbecue is in here. Chef, I think I mentioned to Chef that he was in here. GT's barbecue. Again, thank you so much. Cars and Queues with Mike Hall. Hello. If you want to ask them any questions, Babe has her little notepad right here. And if you tag Babe, Babe cooks.
Babe cooks for the cop.
Yeah. And she's taking down some of the questions, and Babe will ask them.
Yeah.
After I complete my gigantic list of questions that I have on my phone.
I know. We have some good ones.
So you guys have been in business, correct me if I'm wrong, since 2018?
Yes. 2018, it was late 2018. Didn't really start being able to ship wine to customers until about 2019.
Because of the permits and all the...
Yeah. But the brand itself was definitely born late 2018. 2019, boom, we were able to start shipping out. And then 2020 has just been a game changer. COVID was great for alcohol sales, as you can imagine. Apparently, dispatchers like to drink wine a lot. So thank you for that.
Yeah. That's great.
So we're rounding out 2020 is canceled. So
Yeah.
we're rounding out we're rounding out 2020. Where do you see goals, aspirations? Where do you see the business in 5 years? 2025.
Yeah, so we got into, like I was saying, kind of the real entry level spot where when you want to just start selling, your own wine and creating your own wine. So we partnered with a winery that they have a winemaker, they have all those skills and technology and equipment to handle all this. Eventually, we'd like to open a tasting room, whether that's here in San Diego County or maybe even closer up north by not only where her family's from, but where our winery actually is up in Linden, California. And then long-term goals would be to ultimately have our own winery that we would have a tasting room and, just like you go to in Napa or in Temecula. So that's the long-term goal.
That would be awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be there all the time.
So I wrote down on my notes, you guys are not currently in stores right now?
Correct. We don't really have any plans to be, because it's hard for us to compete with the mass-produced, $6, $7, $8 bottle Menage a Trois or a Popic, and we're not shitting on them. Excuse my French. We buy those too once in a while. But
What about $2 Chuck?
we definitely can't compete with them or the headache that it'll give you. But
or maybe some Strawberry Hill Boone's Farm.
Ooh.
Oh.
Now we're talking about
Yes.
allegedly. But, yeah. So what we would like to get into is restaurants. So we have one here locally in Oceanside that he's actually a firefighter who just opened his own restaurant. So we're trying to get in there as their house wine. So restaurants, I think we have a little bit more of a foot in the door there versus retail. It's going to be hard for us because we are, small batch. We're higher price point because you're getting a better quality product versus those mass-produced wines that, you can go into Trader Joe's or Vaughn's and grab off the shelf for $7-8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Babe, you've been furiously writing over here.
Yeah.
You're like Kent on the hot seat. You're just
I know.
You're just writing. You're right. You a pin flip.
Did you see that? I caught it.
That was good. Well, you haven't had enough wine yet, obviously.
I need a little more.
Refill her glass immediately.
I know, right? I'm sitting here and my brain is working. And when you said you want to get into restaurants, I'm like, I need to go to Redding and take some wine to Redding because there's so many awesome local restaurants there. And everyone in Redding is very first responder friendly.
Yes.
And I bet it would do very well up there. My brain just starts working with that kind of stuff,
Do you want to ask any of your I think
some of these are on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I see one.
Well, and he already answered where are your grapes grown. That was one of them.
Did he answer that? Did you guys answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Up in Linden.
maybe I've had too much wine.
Yeah.
our
Up in
grapes
Linden.
are from Linden, California, which is in the Lodi region, so Sacramento County.
Yeah.
Little small town I had never
Very
even heard
small
of.
town,
She
yeah.
was familiar with it because she kind of grew up in that area, but
Yeah.
cute little just
Quaint little town.
farms everywhere.
And
Mhm.
in similar setting, it's very first responder friendly and supportive
Yeah.
of cause, and so it's a great area. Very that community of that area is just awesome.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
if you want to go skydiving, we know that's where you have to go from Northern California.
Is it?
No?
Really?
No.
No.
That's what we've always been told. Go to Lodi to go skydiving.
No.
Don't do it.
The skydiving capital of the world or something?
Just research their facility.
They have too much wine before they take you up.
I think if you're going to Lodi, maybe just stick to the wine. But
Well, that's really good to know because that's where everybody that I know goes to skydive.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
There's and it's
Oh, really?
I don't want to take it to a dark place, but they're not very.
How many people do you know that have died Lodi skydiving?
I don't personally know them, but probably more than a handful in the past 10 years.
They put the dye.
Okay.
They put the dye in Lodi.
Don't forget.
Too soon.
That's awesome.
Oh, you won't high-five me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay.
Okay,
Cheers. Dead
cheers,
Brook Barbecue.
Ricer.
Thank you.
Ricer, thank you so much.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you so much, Ricer. GT's Barbecue, Ricer, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Wine is so fun.
It is fun.
It's
I
always
see.
fun.
I see. Cup and Stuff Barbecue is in the chat. Cup and Stuff Barbecue. I got my ice water right here in your Yeti cup. Cooking with CJ is in here, and I think I got everybody else in here. And
So
if I
Cooking
didn't,
with CJ is who
tuna
we're going to be in Vegas with, you guys.
that's right. Cooking with CJ will be in Vegas, and I see Tuna Shogun in here.
That's gross. Okay, you need
Wait.
to settle down.
You're
You're getting a little wild, and we haven't even gone through one bottle of wine.
one bottle of Chardonnay, and and I'm
You're just a little cheap
twisted.
date.
Before we keep grilling them, I have to we have to talk about your website, and we have to talk about the discount code. Obviously, it's not discount code BABE. So let's talk about your website.
All right, real quick, I have a question that's kind of a pressing question.
A burning question?
From Kent. He wants to know if these super chats go to my ring fund.
Yes.
Oh, shot fired.
You've been saying that for 3 years.
Taco Bell, December, Las Vegas, Wedding Chapel, Taco Bell, Wedding Chapel. Okay, let's continue on with their website. How can we order Thin Vine wines right now using discount code Cooking Cop?
Using code BABE.
Code BABE. Team BABE.
You can use either or actually at thinvine.wine. Thinvine.wine. We're also on Instagram, Thin Vine Wines, and Facebook, Thin Vine Wines. But yeah, exclusively online, direct to consumer, right to your doorstep, thinvine.wine. And use Cooking Cop. Whatever.
Use code Cooking Cop.
Use code BABE.
Use code BABE. Woo! Yeah.
So, a little bit of a friendly competition between the Cooking Cop and Babe.
Always.
Whoever gets the most promo codes, I don't know, we'll buy you something in Vegas. We'll buy you a bottle.
All right. Sounds good. I can't wait. I'm so excited. We'll talk about that later after we drink more wine.
We need to step up that Team BABE.
Yeah. So far, Josh is winning. I'll just let you know.
Whatever.
That's right.
That's because he's louder than I am, you know?
Well,
and taller.
I do have a question that just popped into because I'm a social media dork. How did you pull off your website, thinvine.wine? Usually you get like thinvinewines.com or something. You have like a really unique, cool website. How did you pull that off?
Oh, thanks, man. I'm a little bit of a domain name nerd. Like I own a ton of different domain names that I've just thought of and went and go look and see if it's available and buy it if it is. And I just kind of knowing that a little bit about that side of things. .wine was just an available domain that a lot of people don't use. And
right. I mean that's really, it's very unique. And so when people when people look at your website, when I first looked at it, I'm like, wow, he got .wine domain, like thinvine.wine. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think it makes it stand out a little bit more. So
I agree.
That's good.
I agree.
Thank you.
So jumping into the wine game, Babe knows more about wine than I do. I could talk about whiskey all day long, but we're talking about wine tonight, Babe.
Yeah.
I'm drinking Chardonnay.
I'm proud of you. Isn't it delicious? You're not drinking very fast.
And this was a question when we were brainstorming questions. This was a question that you there was a couple of them.
Right there.
Let's put the website. Thank you. One of our moderators, Stephen and Jacqueline, put your website up on the screen. Thinvine. So
Thank you.
that's awesome. So the question is, let's see, which question? You had a couple good ones. I like the one of, I remember it. Once you open a bottle of wine, your bottle of wine, any bottle of wine, and this really isn't an issue in this house, but how long can you put the cork back in and keep the bottle before you recommend tossing it?
I mean, are people not finishing their bottle opening?
I know. Isn't that a weird thing? But it's a legit.
What's leftover wine?
I don't know what it is. I do remember a time seeing leftover wine before, but I have seen, if we open multiple bottles of wine during the holidays or something and something doesn't get drank, how long can you leave wine? Like a red bottle you leave out or a white bottle in the fridge. How long, if you don't have proper corkage for it, a special cork that'll keep the
you need
whatever.
one.
Great question. It's not a problem we have in this house. Weird, but
Us either.
Just the good rule of thumb: sparkling wines 1 to 3 days with cork stopper, a wine stopper, a light white and a sweet white or a rosé would be 5 to 7 days in the fridge with a cork, and then your red wines are about 3 to 5 days in a cool, dark place. Don't put them back in the fridge. Don't put your red wines in the fridge ever, actually.
So would you say it's poor choices that I like to put an ice cube or two in my red wine?
That's when you're drinking like your Chuck and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, solid point.
Nice. We're going to stop all wine shipments to you guys. But I think it's actually a crime to put your red wine in a fridge.
Yeah.
From that, I think it's penal code like
Yeah.
6-7F or something. But yeah, so we have a wine fridge. We have a little 6-bottle wine fridge in our house. We keep all our wines in there actually. And if you don't have a wine fridge, keep your red wines, your unopened red wines, sideways in a cool, dark place.
Okay.
Like my heart, a cool, dark place.
Yeah. Sometimes.
I saw CJ ask the question, are we partying with these guys in Vegas?
Yes, CJ, this is who's coming to Vegas. It's going to be so fun. We're going to have a blast.
Let's see what other kind of juicy questions. I like this question about different blends of wine, whether it be like a rosé or a white wine or a red wine. Is there different alcohol contents in wine? If you're trying to like get after it, is there a certain type of wine you should drink? Or
and how do you put more alcohol content into a wine? What is the fermentation process? Is that what it would be?
I don't know.
Exactly what it'd be. Yeah, you might be doing the interview at this point. I don't know. It exactly depends on the fermentation process. And then just a good rule of thumb is the lighter the wine, the lighter the alcohol content, the darker, the heavier the alcohol content. So a port is going to be about 20%. Those are the ones that are kind of like a dessert wine, a sherry.
Oh, did we have?
They're there.
Oh, they're back.
Okay. A port.
Yeah.
Just for a second. Just a little.
They're back. No, you repeat that one more time. You said a port.
Yeah, so ports and sherries are going to be about 20%. It's probably going to be the highest you're going to see in a wine. And those are those real sweet, dark, red
more of a dessert wine, yeah.
Dessert wines, yeah. You have that with some dark chocolate, money.
Yeah.
And then so our darkest or our highest alcohol content is our Old Vine Zen, which is 15% ABV. So that's about the highest you'll see in like a regular red wine.
Okay.
And then the lighter you get, the lower alcohol content.
So is it true when you're when you get your glass of wine and you swirl it and you see the legs come down, is it true that the more the legs, the higher the alcohol, or how does that work when you're trying to be a pro?
And legs, you mean like the little?
Right. Yeah. Legs are like the little legs that come down.
Mm-hmm. That is true. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the more legs.
The more legs, the more booze.
The higher the alcohol.
More legs, the better.
More legs, the better. Legs are good.
You could also read the back of the label, and it'll tell you.
Right.
True facts. Details. So to the 23 people in the chat, thank you guys so much for being in the chat.
Yeah.
For the two GT's Barbecue and Ricer, thank you for the super chats.
Yes, we appreciate that.
What else can we ask them?
We got to go down here.
There was one question that I really did want to ask them, and it was, so you guys partner with a winery, and I'm assuming that, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm naive in this. Every year they do whatever their harvest or whatever, and then they make whatever. Is there a way you kind of have to see the final product before you're like, okay, this was a really good year? Or how does that work? Because I've noticed that, oh yeah, I'll take a little refill too. Thank you very much. I've seen like in big commercial wine companies, like you could have this Silver Oak and this year is $40, but this year is $50. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, how do you, is it luck of the draw if you get a good year, or how does what's that whole game like?
That's a great question. So the vintage really depends on the weather of that year. So sun is key for the healthy growing of any kind of grape. So if you have too much sun, it's bad. If you have not enough sun, it's bad. If you have too much rain, it's bad. So if you had a real wet year the whole year, it's probably gonna be a lousy harvest. If you had nothing but sun, it's gonna be a lousy harvest. But if you had a little bit of in between, the normal seasons kind of thing, it's gonna be a good harvest that year. So that's really what determines that. Yeah. So
it's really on God and Mother Nature.
Exactly. Yeah. And we sample all of ours beforehand before we decide to put our label on it and ship it to a consumer. We tell the winery what we're looking for. We work with them closely, and they send us a sample of what they come up with. We taste it. If we don't like it, we don't
send it back to the drawing board.
And exactly. So, but they put out really good wines. So normally fortunately, knock on wood, we've been real lucky with the last few years harvest.
Yeah. I noticed that you have some bottles in front of you. Are you able, like off that note, are you able to talk about a couple of your different bottles, blends, different stuff that you guys have
I'd
going
like to
on?
hear about each one of their wines.
I know that you've sent us, I mean, damn near everything, but I think the folks when they're using code Cooking Cop at thinvine.wine,
code babe.
I think that it would be good. I think it would be good to hear some of the stuff.
Absolutely. So we'll kind of we'll start on the light side and work our way down. So we have our Thin Pink Vine, just our rosé, super light, fruity, solid for tomorrow morning when you guys are hungover and you just need that like Sunday brunch, drink. And Thin Pink Vine is dedicated to breast cancer survivors and victims of breast cancer. So my aunt is actually a breast cancer survivor. So again, each of our labels, has a niche, has a specific thing that it's dedicated to. So Thin Pink Vine, breast cancer, and we donate $2 from every bottle to that specific cause. So last year we donated
really cool.
Susan G. Komen. This year we're not sure who's going to get it. We kind of figured it out at the end of the year. So rosé all day.
Also available in a bubbly.
Rosé all day.
Rosé all day
Yes.
and in a bubbly.
Thank you, babe. So
Wow, nice.
version, oh my goodness, it's it goes down way too easily. It's like breakfast juice. It's just it's delicious.
I like juice for breakfast.
And your rosé is going to go really well because I think you kind of need to know the food pairing, right? Cooking Cop. So,
Wait, well, that's a question that we're going to get to. The food pairing question is definitely on my list, of course, the cooking channel.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
No, it's good.
And then we have our sweet peach, or thin gold vine, which is dedicated to Dispatch sweet peach. This sucker is one of our most popular ones. Huge support from Dispatch and everyone else who's tried it. Just absolutely loves it. It's just way too easy to drink again. And
Also available in the bubbly.
yeah,
That is
Oh, nice.
awesome.
I don't think we knew that. Did we know that?
Yeah, I did, but I'm
Did
going
it?
to add a question.
Oh, you're going to add your own question.
you guys haven't tried that one yet. Oh, you haven't tried the rosé or the sweet peach yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
So we're gonna have to change that.
This one is it's like John said, it's just way too easy to drink. It's so delicious, especially like right now when it's summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hot
So
day,
good.
ice cold. Oh, it's perfect.
So are those the same flavors then? One is just a bubbly and one is a sparkling wine. Okay, now here comes a question. How do you make it a sparkling wine from a regular wine? What's the difference?
It goes a little more into the scientific side of like winemaking that our professionals do up there.
Okay.
But basically they add artificial, bubbles, carbonation.
Okay. So it's still the same thing, but one's a sparkling wine and one is a
Yeah, it's the same grape and it's fermented the same way, but then when it comes to like close to the bottling process is when it
Oh. Ooh, I love it. Okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
My phone stand here, our thin red vine. So this would be probably our entry level red right now. It's a red blend. It's 70% Old Vine Zin, 20% Cab, and 10% Syrah. It is one of the best red blends you'll have. It's super mellow, just real easy to drink, juicy, fruity, and thin red vine, of course, dedicated to the thin red line. Firefighters, paramedics. So last year we donated to the Fallen Firefighter Foundation, and same thing this year. We'll figure out a good nonprofit dedicated to firefighters in need or their families in need. So
That's great.
Red Vine.
Firefighters.
Babe, that's American Heroes.
Do you mean America's Heroes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dispatchers. Sorry. All right. And we have my personal favorite.
That's also my personal favorite.
Yes, Thin Green Vine,
So good.
which is dedicated to military. Last year we donated to Semper Fi Foundation, which helps any branch of military injured veterans and their families. So Thin Green Vine is an Old Vine Zinfandel. It is my favorite, and this I'm jumping ahead again with the food pairings, but with a steak, with a filet mignon,
Yeah.
you can't get any better than that. So
I think
I think
we
that's what
cooked
we did it with.
we cooked the
Tomahawk.
no, I thought we did the $300 beef tenderloin with that.
Yeah. you did the
Yes.
Wagyu. You did the Wagyu with
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one was very yummy.
that
And the longer it was open and got to aerate,
it was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think red blend you guys did with the Korean beef.
Oh, yes.
The beef
That
bulgogi.
one was really good too.
Yeah. So boom. And then actually this one you guys had yet. I think when we had the Pinot, we sent you the Pinot, the thin blue vine.
Yeah,
but
it was really good too. That was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of our wines are pretty limited because it is such small batch. So
Mhm.
I mean, it was a Pinot earlier this year, and that vintage is just gone. It's gone. So we had to move on to something else. So we now have the Cabernet Sauvignon for thin blue wine, which of course is our boldest red. It's a little drier, and this one is dedicated to the thin blue line. Law enforcement, what's up? And
You like that?
last year we donated to cops, children of concerns of police survivors. Wow, I really butchered
He's
that
gonna
one.
get
Huh?
it. He's gonna get it.
Yeah,
I promise.
sure they love that promotion right there. So yeah, law enforcement. That was kind of our flagship one right there. That was the first label that we had actually, and then it kind of branched
And
off.
that was the
into these
Pinot
other ones.
originally, right?
Originally, it was actually Syrah.
Syrah.
It was a
And then-
Syrah,
Oh, yeah.
Pinot and
and then a
Cab.
Pinot, and now it's a Cab. Yeah.
So I think that kind of ties back to like your previous question too, as far as like the like knowing like what you're gonna get out of a season.
Yeah.
Right? So if like we know a specific grape, we like John said, we test it. They'll send us bottles. We'll test it, and we'll pick like the best of the best.
Yeah.
So we're
That's great.
not just sticking with what comes to us and saying that's great. Let's put a
Mhm.
label on it. We're picking what we would drink.
Yeah.
We do
Right.
drink. And then
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
putting that out as our product.
Yeah.
We're never going to put anything out there that we wouldn't drink ourselves and enjoy and be willing to pay that amount for it. So
Right.
you're never going to get something that is a bad wine. It's going to be good.
So
That's awesome.
like I mean with that, like some of the vintages will change a little bit depending upon the year and how the grapes are harvested and what
Mhm.
the outcome is of each season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are there different wines that you produce from each season? And can you produce each of those wines that you guys offer every year? Does that question make sense? Like, are you
Yeah.
able to get each of those each year, every year?
Not each of them. So
Okay.
most of them stay the same, with the exception of the vintage changing. So for instance, our 2018 rosé is almost gone. We're going to switch to our 2019 rosé. So
Right. Okay.
yeah, the vintage changes, but the wine stays the same for the most part. The thin blue vine has just been kind of the exception, really. All the other ones have stayed the same.
Yeah.
To where we completely run out of that grape or that year. So we
Mhm.
kind of have to switch in order to keep offering that label to
Right.
consumers.
Right. Of course. Okay.
I saw David Armstrong, our buddy, said, "I'm headed over to your website right now to order." Hey,
And he's going to use
and he's going to
okay.
use code Cooking Pop.
He'll use code.
Thinvine.wine.
Which code?
Code babe.
Let's see. I have so many more questions,
I
babe.
know.
And you have so many questions too written down there.
Okay. So have you asked that one yet?
Which one?
Right
No, I think I did. Well, we wrote down your like particular favorite out of all of yours. I know mine is the green. That old.
Oh
Zed.
yeah, they did
But,
kind of answer
yeah.
that question. Yeah.
That's my that was my favorite. I
Yeah.
think you really like that one also.
That was really good. Yeah.
We could ask this about red wines and white wine. We touched on it earlier,
We
but
touched-
not
yeah,
not really.
But not the exact. And
So when a person that, well, before I ask the question, I have to give a shout out to Booger. Booger
Hi,
is in the
Booger.
chat. Hello.
Booger.
hello.
I have to say that Josh called me while I was watching your live and I was driving yesterday. And he called me right when you pulled my name, I guess.
It's
So
my
I missed
fault.
it. I actually won on this live yesterday and I was so sad, but I already have the shirt and the cup or the cup holder. But I just want to acknowledge that I came back. I watched. We appreciate you wearing our hat and I'm so excited I won. And I was talking to him. He's like, "You're not going to win anything." And I was like, "What if I do?" And then I did. Okay. Just
There
had
you
to
go.
put that out there, Booger. Thanks.
That for that commercial interruption. Okay, so when you're pouring a red or I want to talk about that thing. It
It's
looks
a decanter.
it's a decanter or it's a bong or it's a musical instrument. It's one of the above.
Or if you get really
Day of the week, yes.
Sometimes you can get, there could be other things too.
I want to talk about how you properly serve up a red, how you properly serve up a white or a rosé, different things like that. I'm not a wine person, so I'm interested to hear your guys' take on that.
Yeah, great question. So sparkling wines should be ice cold. So our bubblies, throw them in the freezer for an hour before you're ready to drink them. White and rosés, fridge cold, same amount or same temperature as your fridge is good.
Mhm.
Light red should be between 55 and 60 degrees, and a bold red, like actually any of our reds would be best between like 60 to 68. We keep our wine fridge right at about 60 for our reds, and then our whites and our rosé we just keep in the fridge. So the whites, the rosé, you can pretty much open it up and enjoy it right away. The reds, you want to open it up, let it breathe a little bit. We have a decanter. Highly recommend you get just a basic decanter is fine. And then,
And for those that don't know the purpose of a decanter.
yes, great question. So the decanter really helps open up the wine, let it breathe, let oxygen reach it to where it'll really actually change the flavor of the wine and get you the best aromatics and the best flavor. So even if you don't have a decanter, invest in like one of these things. This aerates your wine as you pour it. So you just stick it right in the neck of the wine bottle.
Oh, wow.
So we actually put this into the wine bottle and then we pour it in the decanter because we're fancy. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good investment, especially if you're buying a higher end wine from us or from a winery. You go to Napa, you go to Temecula, and you buy one of those nice small batch wines. You kind of want it. It's an investment, so you want to get the most out of it. And
Right.
Definitely recommend some kind of decanter. And then once you put it in there, you can let it sit for a little bit, pour it in your glass, and enjoy it.
Nice.
How long would you say for red wines to let them sit? And the lighter the red to the deeper the red, how long would you to get the best flavor?
So if you're using these tools and the decanter, it's pretty much right away.
Yeah.
If you don't have any of those things, I'd say open it up, let it sit for half hour at least.
Yeah. Okay.
There was Ricer from Dead Broke Barbecue said, is it against any type of laws for you to drink straight from the bottle?
I think it's frowned upon, but I don't think Josh,
Only if it's $2 check, then it's okay.
Or Boone's Farm.
Penal Code 314. I don't know.
Only you can only do that if you're on a balcony in Las Vegas at the Cosmopolitan.
Then you can hit it right from
Then
the
we
bottle.
can hit it right from the bottle.
Yeah.
The babe knows that penal code.
I know that penal code.
What is it?
Indecent nudity.
Oh, it is? Of course.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's funny.
Okay, babe. So what kind of questions do you have? Or did we get to them all?
We've hit a lot of them. So how many bottles do you guys have produced a year, would you say? And do you run out of them? Well, since you started in 2019, I guess. So
18.
It's only been 18, but 19 selling.
Yeah, we do run out of them. We try to keep an inventory to where we have things on hand when the orders come in. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, this year with COVID,
Yeah.
it kind of went crazy in March.
Towards the tail end of
And,
March, early April, and it just.
Yeah, this guy right here, Thin Gold Vine, we would sell out in a couple days. We would.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Inventory. So we do run out. We do pre-orders when we can to get it here as fast as possible and get it shipped out to our customers. But the total cases, it's going to change a lot this year because this has been our best year ever.
Right.
Last
Yeah.
year we didn't have very many cases. So we were still kind of ramping up at that point, and there wasn't a pandemic, I guess. So this year,
Thank you, COVID.
I don't know the exact numbers, but we're probably on track to do over 100 cases.
That's great.
Maybe, give or take. So, yeah, and
I
it's
feel
still.
like I feel like we've surpassed
We've
that.
probably gone over that, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rumor I was always like I'm friends with the guy this sounds really bad. I'm friends with a guy down the street that owns a liquor store. I'm not.
He's only friends with them because he goes there so often.
Yeah.
They've become friends.
Not that, but I'm friends with him. I've known him for a long time. And he says, and again, he doesn't sell online or anything like that, but he said that his business decreased of people coming into his liquor store. But again, that could be people didn't want to leave their house. They were scared, whatever the case may be, which might be a direct result of your increase in online sales. A lot of people are just in their house ordering everything online.
Yeah, I
So-
don't have the exact number in front of me either, but direct to consumer sales, with everything, alcohol especially, I think, went way up with everything going on. So yeah, your brick and mortar shops, your liquor stores that Josh frequents apparently, your Trader Joe's and all that, definitely probably hit. But
Right.
Yeah.
consumer, I think we kind of hit that need for people this year for sure.
Yeah.
And I think with small businesses too, there was a lot of like support small businesses and support local.
Yeah.
So you can order it or
Yeah.
which is great. Okay, open up
So-
your phone. Let me see.
No, well, I did have one more question that I was going to ask earlier that I didn't really touch on. So when you guys started the company and stuff like that, was it strictly social media, getting your name out, your cause, everything like that? And then has obviously that social media and web presence has led to the increase with the pandemic and stuff like that. So is that really the core of your marketing is around social media?
100% social media. We really Instagram was the main focus. Then we went off into Facebook, but Instagram is still our main source.
And you have a couple heavy Instagram hitters that follow you on your Instagram, I've noticed.
And that's what really got us our start. We reach out to the influencers who had the following that we were looking for, that had that same. They had the same. They supported the same thing. So law enforcement, Officer Daniels put us out there. Deputy put us out there. Deputy Hookham actually had our wine at their wedding. Misdemeanor early last year. Early this year.
You think Taco Bell would let us serve wine at our wedding?
No, Taco Bell won't let us serve their wine at our wedding.
So those guys, they really put us out there, and that's where we got our following from. And even recently, there's been some big dispatch pages that have put us out there. So it's just reaching out and kind of building these relationships with these other people that support the same things that we do. So it's mainly Instagram and a little bit of Facebook, to be honest with you.
That's awesome.
That's great. I mean, that
awesome.
seems to be huge networking anyways on social media.
And now your first time on YouTube.
That's our world.
Hey,
you're breaking barriers
I
now.
just lost it.
What other questions do I have on here, babe?
So
What do you see? We're checking. We have literally pages.
Let me get into it here.
Oh, Babe's taking over. In the meantime, I'll give a shout out. I said hi to Booger, Stephen and Jacqueline. Thank you so much for putting their website and all their social media and stuff like that in there during the live. Really, really, really appreciate it, Stephen and Jacqueline. And everybody in here, the 21 people in here, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.
We got up to 26 at one
Oh,
point.
did we?
which was great.
On a Saturday night, hanging out, drinking some wine, having
Not
some
bad.
fun. Not too bad. It's fun.
Okay, so other than your own company, what is each of yours favorite wine label?
Like big box
Like
commercial,
big, major,
mega
or small? They're small.
Well, $2 Chuck is. I'm just kidding. We've all been there though.
like
I mean,
I heard of Franzia. It's
So good. I love their
think
white Zen. It's so good.
I do think that Chef Johnny put earlier, do you guys sell box wine? I think
He did.
somebody did say that.
Yeah.
we do not.
It's all right.
I'm sorry. I don't
Box wine is great.
No. Costco's great boxed Kirkland brand caps that we may or may not have. So
Just because a wine is not expensive does not mean it isn't good.
True.
It does not have to be expensive or corked. It can be a twist cap and be fantastic.
Like Kim Crawford.
Yeah.
And I will say that Kirkland, Costco, and Trader Joe's, they source really good wine for their labels. So Kirkland might be cheaper, but it's still a good wine. It's a solid wine. And same with Trader Joe's labels.
Yeah, Trader Joe's has some good good wines from their brand. Yeah, it's good.
Mhm.
So what are your guys' favorite ones though? When you go to Napa or Temecula or any wine country, what's your favorite of all the places?
So I don't really have one specific favorite. We do like to support local wineries. We go to Temecula Wine Country, which is 45 minutes from us here. We're members at Somerset, and really love their reds. Solid reds. I will say that one of my favorite wines right now, just styles of wine, is the bourbon barrel aged red wines. So those are kind of gaining popularity.
I got you some of that.
Yeah, we did. I did. You got me a bottle of that.
Mondavi.
Super good. Yeah, the Mondavi is
the
good.
Mondavi one is good.
And
Yeah.
they're gaining popularity, so you're seeing them more and more. Trader Joe's actually has a good one. We just tried. I think I have a bottle.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my favorite style right now that I like trying. What you did?
Definitely Somerset. Like we went up there and tasted wine and went and picked up our subscription because we do subscribe there. And so that's probably one of my top favorites. Other than that, you can't go wrong with a La Crema.
Yeah.
Pinot Noir, it's just easy.
It is good. It's really good. That's one of my favorites too.
Yep.
If you're going to Napa, where are you going?
I
was going to say something a little political.
Well, I would have said Plump Jack in the past because I have been a Plump
I was going to
Jack,
say not Gavin Newsom.
but
Not where?
Not Gavin Newsom.
Plump Jack is.
I know. That's so funny.
Well, isn't
He's
his-
open.
He's open, isn't he? Everybody else is closed down. He's open,
He's
isn't
open.
But I
Yeah.
digress.
That's
Silver
wild.
Oak, Silver Oak is really good.
Silver Oak is very good.
It's been a while since I've been there, though. I'd like to go back. You guys are frozen. Are we frozen? If you can hear us, you're frozen. We're frozen. Shit.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Was it us?
I don't know. I hope it's not.
The Wi-Fi? Or the iPad has to be on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's saying Josh and Bethany, you're frozen. Does that mean you guys can hear us? Oh no, we're alone.
Ah!
Can you guys hear us?
I need an adult.
Say yes if you can hear us. Or Gavin Newsom heard us talking and shut this shit down. You're right.
No!
You're right.
My bad.
Oh, Babe cooks for the cop. Yeah. How convenient, right when we're talking
I
about
know.
gruesome. Okay, political.
I know. I was trying not to, but I couldn't help
Well, that was embarrassing.
Gavin Newsom
Well-
heard us talking shit, and he's like, "You're done."
I think it was exactly that. He heard us talking.
That was a conspiracy theory right there. Our
Complete.
internet, literally,
Completely.
you said the bad word, and then all of a sudden the
The bad
internet went
man's
out.
name, and look what happens.
Coincidence?
I think not.
That's so funny.
Good job for holding the show down while we were gone.
No one's. I said, "Hey, can you guys see us?" And no one said anything. So
I
either
put out an SOS for an adult.
she almost left. She almost left.
Thanks
Where
for
did
not
I-
leaving. Oh my goodness.
So,
Okay, what were we saying? So we were talking about Napa.
No, what I was going to ask them, if money was no object, you're at the most banging restaurant, and you were just living large, what bottle of wine do you buy?
what am I having? Am I having a steak?
You're probably having a steak. I mean, let's be real.
I'm gonna buy the most expensive old bottle of old wine Zin to enjoy with my filet mignon medium rare.
I think
Yeah.
something that's just been very, very well aged.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Price is nothing.
Yeah.
But
Right.
something that's just really developed and matured into something great.
I
Right.
agree. That's, I think, what I've learned over the years too, is price isn't always making it better. It's really, how it's made. No, Joe, Stella Rosa blueberry wine is not good. Yeah, that can go.
I see that Chef Johnny's taking off. Chef Johnny, thank you for joining us during the live chat. Much appreciated.
Chef John,
And Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue is very well aged.
where is Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue?
He's in Texas.
He's in Texas. He's in Texas with.
Yeah.
We have a lot of YouTube following friends and fellow YouTubers out of Texas, and so we usually try and give them a hard time.
Yeah.
Although we're secretly jealous and we want to move there.
Yeah.
So
the housing costs are appealing. The weather, not so much. No offense, Joe.
True.
Barbecue, I'm sure it's delicious.
Speaking of a fellow
Aim 'em and
Aim Claim 'em
How's it
Smokers
going,
is
buddy?
here, a fellow Texas man
Yep.
who's sponsored by Tito's Vodka.
And yes, wasn't he out today and it was pouring rain earlier?
Was it pouring rain in Texas? I don't know. It
believe
was like
so. It was
105
stormy
here
this morning.
today.
Yeah,
It was hot here.
Gross.
It was hot.
Hey, I saw a good question from somebody.
Yeah.
Let me go back and see who it was from. It was regarding using straws.
I did see that question. I forget who it was from. Somebody said, "Are you allowed to drink wine with a straw?"
Yeah. So your girl, Fit Cop Mom, Ellie.
That's how we Well, that's how I originally found. I originally found your Instagram from her. We used to work when I worked at my last assignment. She was a reserve there, so I've known her forever.
She's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
Yeah.
So
I like her.
she drinks wine from a straw because she doesn't want her teeth to get red. So we actually.
No,
That's smart.
I text her before we started, and I said, "Hey, you better be in this live stream." But she might not have gotten it.
Rude.
Rude.
So yeah, we sent her.
Well, that's cute.
But other than that, no, you definitely can't drink wine from a straw. You shouldn't.
I definitely
It's
do
frowned.
not ever.
It's frowned upon.
What are the little champagnes that come in a can? They're pink and they come with a little straw stuck to it.
It's like an adult Capri Sun.
Yeah, I forget the brand, but it's a canned champagne and it comes with a little straw. And you're like, okay, this is great, but it's terrible. No one can drink champagne from a straw.
I know the cans are popular right now. You should drink any kind of wine from a can. I'm sorry.
I agree. Just because they put a fancy name on it, like Ava Grace or Carrie Underwood.
Like $5 a can. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're just kind of jumping on the bandwagon if the cans are cool right now. But what do I know?
Mm-hmm.
So
The fact that you sent is a metal wine straw even a thing? Is that a thing?
A metal straw is a thing.
Well, yeah, for like a Moscow Mule maybe or something like that. But
For whatever you want.
or if you're Fit Cop Mom.
Yeah, we have steel.
Yeah, if you're Fit Cop Mom.
They're not for wine.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have steel, and there's like the silicone ones that like you can carry.
Oh, yeah. Wait, where did you go the other day and you had an avocado nut straw?
Oh, I went to a local like little coffee shop, like and they're like, "We don't do plastic straws. We use recycled avocado nut to make our straw." And I'm like, "What?" So you made guacamole into a straw? Like, what? I don't know.
Why? Just give me a friggin' plastic straw and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
They're back.
Agreed.
Plastic straws are back.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everywhere that I've been, plastic straws, except for your avocado nut straw.
Yeah.
Are they back?
Well, I think when like COVID hit and they had changed all these like rules and regulations, right? Like, it's bring your own grocery bag, but wait, don't bring your own grocery bag. It's like,
Right.
Plastic bags are back.
Yeah, the sea turtles. We don't care about the sea turtles anymore. Plastic bags are back.
Everything reversed.
Yeah.
Gone full circle.
Yeah. No one cares about the environment anymore.
Yeah.
So just wear a mask.
Yeah. So we've been live for 54 minutes, but I do have a couple more questions. We've talked a lot.
No, we haven't gone over pairings with each of the.
Well, that's what I was just going to get.
Pairings.
Well, we were talking a lot about red meat and dark reds and different things like that. But what happens if we're into? We don't eat so much fish here, a little bit. But what if we do eat a lot of chicken though? Yeah. What if we're in the like a nice chicken dish or fish or what about a fettuccine?
What we should ask is, can you give us for each of your wines that you have? Can you pair it with something, whether it be dessert, breakfast, lunch, dinner, meat,
breakfast?
Vegetables? I don't. Champagne.
We're brunchers here.
I mean, Egg Benny and that gold wine. The gold vine wine looks good.
This right here is breakfast wine.
Exactly. I'm going to put that with my eggs Benedict.
This one,
Thank you.
the peach is my personal favorite. We'll on Sunday mornings we'll just have bacon sometimes, maybe some tater tots. Bacon tater tots, peach wine.
Ooh.
I think we were DMing the other day.
Yeah.
And yeah, we because we had a new rosé we needed to try, and we just had bacon and tested the rosé and wrote our tasting notes for it. And that's just the rough life of being a wine label producer.
Yeah.
So how do we get into that?
Yeah. So listen, everybody, if you're having bacon and tater tots for breakfast,
And
you need to go to
champagne.
thinvine.wine. Okay. You need to pick yourself up a couple bottles, use code Cooking Cop,
Yeah.
and yeah.
It
Bacon and
that
tater
life.
tots.
That's awesome.
pair wonderfully with bacon and tater tots. Just saying.
That
Peppered bacon, right? Because you get like the sweet.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
peppered bacon
yeah.
is the
the
peppered bacon.
notes of pepper. That's good.
Well,
That's good.
I have a question for the followers right now, our 17 viewers, maybe 15, because I think 2 of them are us. But should we open up a bottle of wine?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we should.
I want to hear from the viewers. Should we open it?
Now, the proper YouTube term is put a number 1 in the chat. If we should open up the thin, that's the thin red.
Yeah, you gotta
vine
ask
right
them
there.
which one they
One in
want.
the chat, if we should open a bottle of thin red vine.
Right now.
As
I mean, it's Saturday night. It's Saturday night. People are here to get silk.
Don't open it, so
We're not waiting for the ones. It's happening.
someone said yes.
Native Meat said yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Native Meats. Good people. So, babe, do you remember the wine fact I told you about the wine bottle and how you can tell the quality? Or are you drunk?
Are you
I
drunk?
do. I
well,
do.
I'm a little bit of column A,
Hold
and a little
on.
bit of column B.
It's a little bit of both. Remind me.
So, you can tell I'm doing it wrong in front of everybody.
Don't do that.
So, do you have a wine bottle with you?
They're both opened.
Okay. I see the bottle. So, feel underneath the bottle.
Oh yes, I remember when you told me that. Okay, the higher the thing, the better the wine.
So the deeper the
Yes.
bottle, the better quality of the wine. So you go to like your bottom shelf, not to
Yes.
sitting on $2 Chuck because we've all been there, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a flat bottle. All those lower shelf wines will be a real flat bottle, and that gives you an indication the wine is shit too. So
Yeah.
the deeper the bottle, the better the wine. Good rule.
That is, I remember you saying that. I was drinking $2 Chuck that night.
And what is the reason for that? Is it for the winery to actually put less product in the bottle and sell it for a higher price, or?
No, it's the wine. The bottle is more expensive the deeper it is.
Oh, okay.
Cheaper
It's
the
like
wine,
more
the
of
cheaper
the
the bottle.
investment.
The
Yeah.
more expensive the bottle, the better the wine.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. See, that's like one of those other wine myths that you're like the legs and
I didn't know that. I don't.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know the deeper.
I didn't
deeper
either
the-
until he told me that. Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally didn't know that.
and now you can see us decanting with our aerator. It's
I
pretty
love
exciting.
it. That's super
But
fun.
back to the bottle. Have you ever? Okay, so now he schooled me on that one. I did not know that. So here I am in the grocery store if I'm buying wine.
Yeah.
No, you're the weirdo.
Yeah, you're feeling everything and looking. Yeah.
You're the weirdo sticking your thumb up the undercarriage. Of the every time.
Let me see how far I can get my thumb up before I decide if it's good or not, right?
Exactly.
Like,
But you'll-
I'd like to have dinner with this one.
you'll thank us later.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, I just came up with a question, but I forgot it now.
Oh boy,
What was it?
it's all that Chardonnay,
It's all that
and
Chardonnay.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're poor interviewers. If you can't just
I
roll
know.
with
I'm
the
going
questions.
blank on what it was. I totally forget. It was a good one too.
You guys are amazing. viewers.
Sorry. We're drinking wine too. We probably shouldn't be, but whatever. It's
Sure.
fine.
When in Rome, right?
Mhm.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for coming on with us tonight and spending Saturday night with us. And the 15 people still left in the chat. We appreciate you all.
No, it's super fun.
It is super fun.
I love it.
It's a good. We have a good little community. The cooking community and the people that watch our videos and that watch each other's videos and stuff like that. It's a really cool. It's a cool community, and we've met a lot of the people and stuff like that. So it's really neat, and it's really neat to bring people into the. That sounds kind of weird, but into the circle that that we support, and then we get a lot of support from other people. And I feel like it's like a kind of an unspoken rule between us. Like we usually bring, like, if a barbecue channel recommends, like, hey, this is a really good rub or this is a really good barbecue sauce or something like that, and you try it out, usually it's pretty freaking good. So we kind of all,
So hopefully everybody that likes wine or even wants to try wine, we'll get into it. Oh, that's one we didn't ask.
What?
That I wanted to ask. So if for all of these people in here that are not wine people and are beer drinkers or whiskey drinkers, if they are looking to get into the wine game, what do you suggest they start with?
Oh, that's
That's
a good question.
Yeah, what's a good way to ease your way in? Like when I started drinking beer, I needed Coors Light because it's like water, so it eases me in.
Before you answer that, can I do a side note? She also drinks Coors Light and orange juice.
That's called a pomosa.
It's called
a pomosa, like a poor man's mimosa. We drink that on the lake in Redding.
Bless your heart.
Coors Light and orange juice. A pomosa.
We get along great, yeah.
I know. I also put green olives in my Coors Light and make it a martini.
Oh, that's Phil. Oh.
I don't care. It's so good. Try it.
Yeah. Here we go. Seattle, Delana and Wally. Hello. Seattle said it the best. There you go.
What? Only in Redding. I don't care. Redding is awesome. It's rad. It's a good place to go. Wake up on the lake at 7:00 in the morning, pour yourself a Coors Light, a little orange juice, you're happy. Middle of the day, you want a fancy martini, Coors Light, green olives, you're good.
Yeah. And by the end of the night, your stomach is a freaking dumpster fire.
By the end of the night?
Yeah.
Does Redding have a lake?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Shasta Lake. That is the biggest lake west of the Mississippi. Yeah. And Pink and Carrie Hart were just there.
That's where Hannah went.
It's huge. Yeah, Shasta Lake is huge. That's where a lot of celebrities go. Steven Tyler has a houseboat up there. It's huge. It's awesome.
Does he drink?
He drinks pomosas too. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm. If you come to Redding, you just need to have a pomosa.
All right.
Okay. So
anyway.
if you're into pomosas and not into wine, but you want to go to thinvine.wine and order some wine,
yeah,
and you know nothing about wine,
love the segue.
What do you start with?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Well played, sir. It's good. Yeah. What was the question?
Okay. What do they start with?
Yeah. So
how do we slowly ease them into it?
Floodlight, so I understand. I've since upgraded to IPAs. Wine can be a little intimidating, and we get that. That's another thing that we try to strive for, is make it a little less intimidating. It's just, hey. If you're not really familiar with wine yet, or you're not sure, you don't like it, I'd start on the sweeter end and work your way up. So start with your rosés, start with your sweet peach, the sweeter side of things, and kind of start to build your palate up from there. And you have your light whites, your Chardonnays, your white blends, which our Thin Gold Vine was a white blend before, and it actually didn't do very well versus our sweet peach. So our only white is very sweet. I will say that. But once you kind of get past that needing the sweetness, work your way up to a little bit more of a drier white, and then your lighter red is going to be like your Pinot, and then your red blend, and you work your way up to like the Old Vine Zinfandels and the Cabernet Sauvignon. So, everyone's palate's different. So, but just give it time. Try it with different foods. Try it with different temperatures, with different, vintages, and just see what you like. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Right.
But it is a little bit of an acquired taste for sure. So
Yeah.
But entry level, start sweet and work your way up.
Are you guys, for each of you individually, are you red, white? What's each of your favorite?
Well, I'm an equal opportunity drinker. I don't discriminate. All wines matter.
Yeah.
Too soon. Too soon.
True.
It wasn't until you said it.
It's never too soon. It's good.
So yeah, but mainly just a good red blend, a good mellow, easy drinking red. Like our red blend is my go-to, and then it depends on what we're having.
Yeah.
You know, if we're having steak, old vines in all day. If we're just day drinking on the patio on a Sunday morning, you know, it's the sparkling
Or
rosé.
whatever.
Yeah. Day, anywhere really.
Yeah.
The lighter rosé or peach, sparkling, or all of the above. So.
Yeah, I'm more of a red drinker, but
okay.
And we cook a lot. We do cook a lot at home, and so we're usually like grilling something, or like I do make a lot of like. I'll make a lot of like enchiladas, like a lot of like Mexican dishes, like tacos, a lot of that. So usually like reds go with that.
Yeah.
A little better, more full flavored, but like the whites are really good when like I said, when we do breakfast, it's like bacon, we're having peach, or rosé, just like casual, like a little bit of day drinking, you know, just a hot day, crack a bottle of rosé, whether it be sparkling or the still.
Yeah.
We do have a question. We do have a question in the chat, and I'll put it on the screen here. The Native Meats said, if you guys could travel to any wine country region in the world, where would you go?
Do you want to go first?
So I'll go first. I've really not traveled to a whole lot outside of the U.S., and so I think I would like to go to Chile to try the Sauvignon Blancs that they have.
Yes.
Their reds. I think that would probably be my go-to place.
That would be
Chilean
good. Like that. I was fortunate enough to go to Italy and go to Tuscany and visit the real wine country, you know?
Oh, wow.
Can we talk about a $7 bottle of Chianti in the little basket bottle? Yeah. I love it.
Amazing.
I love it.
So
it's amazing.
You could go to a little, mom and pop, like jalopy liquor store and have wine for 75 cents and a Coke is $5. What do you think I'm going to pick? I mean,
he loves it. Every time we go to a fancy Italian dinner.
He's so frugal.
Right.
Yeah. So is he. He's like, I love the Chianti. I'm like, it's $8. Like,
I'm telling you, that Chianti, it's I don't know.
With the bamboo.
With the bamboo thing around it. It's so good.
Yes.
You have a couple meatballs. You have a lasagna.
Like
no, it's great. You have a meatball, a thick red sauce, a lasagna, a slice of pizza. Oh, so good. Yeah.
When is dinner?
Yeah.
So then where is your favorite? So you've been to Italy?
So I've been to Italy. I would like
what is your favorite region then that you went to, and favorite wine that you? Okay.
Tuscany.
But I would love to go to Chile or or
I
Spain.
have had like a few Chilean wines, and they are really, really good. So to like go there and to be like firsthand and get like the experience and like the walk through.
So good, yeah.
Be awesome.
Yeah. And France, I'd love to try some of France's regions.
And I'm trying to get to go to Mexico with me. I want to go like just because we're in San Diego, right? So I want to go just across the border.
I've heard their wine game is pretty good, and their craft beer scene is blowing up a lot. I just don't want to get the head.
Yeah, you want to keep your head on your body. Yeah. I understand.
I mean, that's a good point.
I think
valid.
I went to, where did I go? Cabo at the beginning of the year, and it was fine. It was super fun, and it was fine. So Red Bone in the chat, hello from North Carolina. Hello. Thank you for joining us. 1 hour and 9 minutes into the live chat, and Dwayne and Wally are in here. Let's see. We live 30 minutes away from Childress Wine, the number 3 race team. Yeah, there you go. And then Native Meat says, I have to try some Chilean wine now. I don't think I've ever had Chilean wine.
Yeah, you have.
But Italian wines, especially that Chianti. I mean, even we've had some good Chiantis also.
Yeah.
Italian, that is epic. I mean,
And the food, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's the perfect pairing. It's the good food, good wine.
I do wish that we would cook more Italian food on our channel, but it's
Italian is my favorite.
I love it also. It's just so like pastas and thick greens and stuff like that.
It hurts our tummy because we're old.
I'm late 20s. Thank you.
We're just talking about your 40th birthday earlier, but it's okay.
Seattle said, "What type of wine do you start with if you hate wine?" We were just talking about that. Yeah. Start with a lighter one, a sweeter one, maybe a rosé, one of the peach, the thin gold vine, the peach. Try that. Use code Cooking Code. Not gold.
Start with the light and work your way up to the darker.
And work your way up. Yeah, dry. I love a dry cab.
My go-to wine is a New Zealand Sauvignon.
Yeah,
love it.
Thin blue.
But I do,
very dry cab.
Yeah,
it's good.
See, I love that, but I mean, I'm a big red meat. You know,
I like cab.
Potato, red meat, dry cab. That's like up my alley. You love a New Zealand Sauv Blanc.
I love a New Zealand Sauv Blanc. So can we talk about, and can you explain to the viewers who don't understand wine either, maybe like the notes of wine? So there's different notes in wine. You're not just having like a certain kind of grape. You're having notes of flowers. You're having notes of, you're having spicier notes. You're
kind of like when I have a cigar and I have cinnamon and tobacco and chocolate and
So
it's exactly like Josh just said. It's whatever that person that's consuming it is sensing right now. Their palate, their nose, their senses. You know, I've read a wine label before. It said, you know, tastes like tobacco and leather. That's what they're not putting leather and tobacco in the wine barrel. You know, it's whatever has gone into that vintage. It's just to each their own kind of thing, and what you sense, and pick up. So
you might get something a little more earthy, where it's like almost that like not exactly, but it's close to like a wheatgrass flavor, right? Where it's the earthy tones in it, where it's more like broccoli or something like that. So it'll pair well with like those greener dishes.
Right. Yeah. And before I have to give a shout out to Crosby's Corner. He's in the chat. He was, I think, our first subscriber on YouTube. Like,
really? Our very first?
When I was making cigar videos.
That's awesome.
And he's hung with us for years now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So I gotta give a shout out.
Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is very good.
Pinot Noir. Does that mean peanut of the night? Oh, it does?
No, Pinot Noir. So really though, there's so much more that goes into wine, and I love that's why I love a New Zealand Sauv Blanc. It's because it's more flowery. It's like a little bit more fresh.
Yeah.
So how would you describe different kinds of wine for the people who don't love wine, which is a lot of our viewers here that don't know wine?
We have a lot of beer and whiskey people.
Yeah, we have a lot of beer and whiskey. So if we're going to go with our main, we're going to go with our our Cab, our Merlot, our Sauv Blanc, and our
Chardonnay.
Pinot Grigio. Okay, Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Our Pinot Grigio. What would you say are like the main notes if you're going? I know each region has different flavors, so how would
That's a rough question.
That is a rough question.
That's a rough question.
I guess I get kind of what you're going for, though.
Yeah.
And it's a great question, and it's so you brought up the whiskey drinkers and the beer drinkers, right? Beer's kind of, I think it's a little more subjective because it's the different hops, but whiskey, so right, you'll hear caramel notes and this and that kind of thing, and there's no caramel in there. It's what you're sensing from the barrel. The barrel has a big role in it. So obviously our rosé, for me, and we taste every wine that we're going to put out there, and we write our own personal notes. So our rosé is like rose hips and strawberry, right? There's no actual rose hips. There's no actual strawberries that go into making that wine, but that's just what we picked up. And there's actually kind of a really cool like scale that you can get off the internet. And as if you really want to get into it, when you're tasting a wine, you can look at the scale and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I do taste a little bit of dark chocolate or plum or red or cracked pepper. So that's kind of what we do when we're tasting a wine. Sweet peach is pretty self-explanatory. It tastes like sweet, delicious, ripe peaches.
It's really sweet. I don't want to say like overly sweet, but it has like that sugary, like sort of like to it, right? So when you drink it, you pick up on the sweetness of it, and when you drink that is what it is with that one. And with the rosé, it's a little more crisp and it's a little more right. So it's like even though they're both light and they're both easy drinking and both like perfect on like a hot day where they're just a little bit more of that refreshing side, the rosé is more of a not necessarily tart, but it's more of like just a straightforward finish. Right, where it doesn't like the sweet peach is a little more like softer. It's softer. You know, and same with some of the reds where it's just like the red blind has a small sweetness to it, right? So it's has a really soft finish. What notes do we have? Like,
it's real juicy.
Yes.
It's mellow. It's not dry. Just super smooth, and I think the soil with wine has a lot to do with it too. You know, and the other alcohol forms, but the soil. So even like our Pinot that is sold out, kind of got earthy tones, and I think the soil probably had a lot to do with that. It just depends. It depends on the region. It depends on also just each individual palate.
And I think it's like starting off like wine drinker, like test the waters. Literally. Just test and see what you like to pair it with, right? Like it took me a little while to learn and like actually like take a sip of a red wine and then take a bite of steak. You know?
That's a good
see where it goes.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like you just have to learn as you go and don't be afraid to try it. Like really don't be afraid to try it. I mean, if you crack a bottle, like 5 days, 3 to 5 days, this is good. So is to make 3 to 5 meals.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it depends on your palate. Like if you're a veggie lover or you're a vegan or you know, one of those people, you're probably gonna like a lighter wine.
What do you mean those people?
You know, like a vegan. Those people, well, you know, you might be like a lighter wine kind of person. You're like a red meat and potatoes kind of person. You might like a deeper cab or a deeper Merlot. So you can go off of that too. Like maybe whatever your palate is, food wise, may pair with how you like wine wise.
Right, exactly.
Possibly, I don't know. That's
no, I totally
pulling out of my ass. I don't know.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up with one final question from Native Meat, and we'll recap all your guys' social media and stuff like that. But Native Meat said, "Are you guys allowed, and do you do any type of tastings or events, or what's the legality?" Like if there was like a farmer's market or like
come 2022 when life is happening again.
Yeah, like if there was like a fair or anything like that, are you guys allowed to do tastings or what's that whole package like?
Yeah, the legality with alcohol tastings is pretty strict. Markets you actually have to come from a farm. Your product has to come from a farm.
Okay.
So we can't participate in that right now, unfortunately. But long story short, we are definitely looking into virtual tastings. We're talking with right now that we might partner with that will give us the platform to do virtual tastings. That's pretty much it right now.
Okay.
You could also put it in salon, you know.
And then, which you guys should probably look into as well for your merch. Tent City in Washington, D.C. every year for
Police Week.
Oh, Police Week, yeah.
We wanted to go. We wanted to go this year.
We wanted to go every year.
And we were planning on going. It's in May in Washington, D.C. and unfortunately it was canceled this year. Hopefully next year it'll be on.
It's a big goal.
And a follow-up question from Native Meats, and it says, besides the Thin Vine Wines Instagram, which he just followed, where do you recommend learning more about wine online? Is there any good resources online to learn about wine or anything like that?
Appreciate you, Native Meats. Would like to learn more about Native Meats, by the way. Great question. And honestly, one of the biggest resources that we use for our own education is Wine Folly, winefolly.com.
Winefolly.com.
Winefolly, FOLLY.com. Great resource. We get a lot of our knowledge from them as well, actually. So definitely recommend using them as a resource. If
awesome.
we don't, it's not for you though.
Yeah.
But we probably stole it from them. Let's be honest. I'm just kidding.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We appreciate you guys coming on. We've had a lot of people. We got 14 people still in the chat, and we appreciate you all. Strong's Adventures just said, hey, Josh and Babe, I got it playing, but we have it on mute because they're on the phone. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you so much.
Real quick.
And so,
Wait, I have a question for you.
Real quick. I got something real quick.
Yeah.
We didn't do the food pairings.
Oh,
we have
Just
so
real
much
quick.
more. Okay, hold on. Take a little break. Do. Let me make you a drink.
I have a drink.
I have to make it
Let them open another bottle of wine. Let me make you a whiskey because there's a lot to go with food pairing.
I already have it pre-flighted. I can make it quick.
Okay, let's do food. Let's do food pairings.
Hello.
I say
No, I want to hear. I do want to finish off with the food pairings.
That's true.
Because
but
I
I
did-
did want to ask.
No, we
Okay.
did ask them that earlier, and then we probably interrupted them, and then we didn't get to
Okay,
that.
well, I would love to know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll wrap up on the food pairings. I agree with you, babe. We did mean to ask that. That
Okay.
was on the list. That was my fault. That was my
Okay.
fault.
I'll make it short and sweet. I mean, you are the cooking cup, right?
I mean,
Well, that's what we want to know. Yeah. For each of your wines, we want to know what to pair.
right?
The what?
I heard you guys are foodies. I don't know.
I mean, just a little bit. Tiny bit.
Food and wine. Hey, buddy. All right. So we already took notes on this because we had a feeling it might come up. Single vine.
that literally. I don't know how.
That's
You
the
know what?
biggest one.
You keep feeding me wine. This is what
You know
happens, babe.
Now you get water.
Now you get water. Let me go back to my water.
Okay.
All right. Water. Come on. All right. So thin gold vine sweet peach would pair best with a spicy or smoked food. Okay, like a barbecue
Oh.
or smoky cheese, like a smoked Gouda.
Ooh, I love smoked Gouda.
I do too.
So
Can you imagine like a cold sweet peach with like a warm smoked Gouda?
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
legit. Okay.
Good.
grilled peaches, amazing, right?
Yeah. Okay. I back you on that.
I get
yeah,
so
the
excited.
sweet will complement the spicy and smoky really well on that.
Yum. Okay.
The peppered bacon. Peppered bacon.
The bacon.
Yes.
Yep. The rosé, brie and prosciutto, which is one of our favorites. That will,
Okay.
that will complement that.
So
great.
good. Yeah.
And the sparkling versions will just be great by themselves, or you can pair it with some fresh fruit,
Mm-hmm.
some sorbet all day.
Ooh, that'd be good.
And onto our reds, our thin red blend. Would be great with a grilled hamburger, cooking cup. Get on that.
I like that.
Oh, that'd be good.
I like that. So
Okay.
let's take a 80-20 ground beef
Mhm.
smash burger. We
Mhm.
put some nice cheese on it. We toast a bun, a little QP mayo, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you crack open the red blend. It's
Yeah.
light. It's lighter. It's not so dry. Yeah.
Yeah, babe.
Okay.
Way to go. Way to pair it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to build it in my head.
So good.
Love it. Love the way you guys think. And then, of course, Josh and I's personal favorite, the thin
Yes.
green vines
That's
that
very good. Yeah.
filet on, or if you're a baller, the $250 Wagyu steak thing,
Mm,
which was
Yeah.
not overcooked, by the way. Was not
Thank you.
absolutely was.
It
Far
was not overcooked. It was totally fine.
But really,
Yeah, because you want to put A1 on your steaks.
I just want it
put
to be,
A1 on your steaks. You should just.
if you're cooking it a $100 steak well done, that's a problem.
Why?
I don't know.
Who's ordering that? You shouldn't order.
Just
Yeah.
because it's dry
Yeah.
aged and old doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it
Yeah.
doesn't needs to be overcooked.
If you're going to a restaurant and you're ordering well done steak in a nice restaurant, the waiter should physically slap you.
They should
Open hand like this.
remove
Wham!
you. Yeah, they should
I think
remove
if you
you.
go to Gordon Ramsay's place in Vegas and you order it well done, he will actually come out and smack you and call you a donkey.
He will. He'll
And say
probably punch
yeah,
you in the
And
face.
say, you donkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As that should happen.
Right. It should happen. And then last but not least, the thin blue vine cab. Epic dish would be meatballs.
Ooh.
Any red sauce dish would be
Yeah.
good with the cab. Pasta. So spaghetti and meatball.
About a meatball.
Bolognese.
80-20 ground beef, ricotta, parsley, breadcrumbs, egg, meatball. Now you're using San Marzano tomatoes. You're crushing them up.
You're
using basil, garlic, olive oil. You're infusing.
Okay.
It's I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
That's it.
We make our meatballs with a little bit of Frank's Red Hot in it.
Oh, I love you. That's awesome. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, guys. Okay, so we're excited.
Yeah.
We love this. This for me is probably my favorite because I'm a wine person. So probably my favorite video we've ever done. And I don't care if anybody else is like, we're barbecue people. We don't care. I love it. This is my favorite. I love you guys. I'm so glad that we found you.
We love you too.
Thanks for having
And I'm excited you want to be our friends. I'm excited for Vegas. It's going to be fun.
You guys are foodies and you like to drink. I mean, what
you guys, I'm out.
Easy Bake Barbecue. We'll end on this. The first vineyard winery was in Kentucky.
It was?
He has facts. He's dropping knowledge in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's dropping knowledge.
Oh,
there you go.
Mic drop for sure.
There you go. That was a mic drop right there.
That's good.
Well,
Okay.
All right, boys. All right, boys and girls. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
that was
so much.
so fun. I wish we had.
Everybody,
You so much.
we appreciate
so much.
you. Thank you all the viewers.
Oh, you need refills. ASAP.
I know.
Oh boy. It's time to make a run to my friend at the liquor store down there. That his sales have been down.
Guys, thank you. We're excited.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah.
And to GTs and to Ricer, thank you for the super chats. And yeah.
6 days, we're gonna see you in Vegas.
Yes,
We'll be there.
we will live stream again. I think. I hope.
We probably will. I mean, we probably will. That one will probably have to go on private because it'll be shenanigans. But it happens.
But we're reconvening at the Taco Bell, right?
Yeah. We're gonna live
Well, yeah, we got to go book the appointment. We got to get the garter belt.
It gives me severe anxiety.
I'm gonna have the Taco Bell hot sauce bow tie. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
She's Nacho Average Bride.
Oh, that could be on the invitations. With a Nacho Supreme, it would be great. Oh, they discontinued the Nacho Supreme because of COVID. But
don't they have all the same food at Taco Bell? It's like all the same ingredients, like 5 ingredients to make 900 different items.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah, Taco Bell's delicious. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
We
Okay,
appreciate you. Thank you to everybody in the chat. And that's it.
Yeah.
We're hitting the
We're
end of the
gonna see
broadcast.
you soon.
In 3, 2,